Welcome to Ayr Racecourse, because this month Ayr, Prestwick and Troon are running very different races. Ayr sits with the lowest stock levels of the three areas. Prestwick's jumped into the lead on terms of the number of properties coming to the market, and Troon has surged into the lead in terms of sales agreed. So who's leading, who's chasing, and more importantly, where are the opportunities for buyers, sellers and landlords in this market? Let's take a look. So this is the data showing comparisons of the three areas. So Ayr, Prestwick, Troon, and then you get available stock, new instructions, sales agreed, days on the market. Now the absolute standout for me is Ayr. The reason being, this time last year and last month we were looking at about 63, 64 levels. You can see the actual numbers on our website. We've seen 14 instructions come out of Ayr last month. Usually we see numbers between 28, 34 at this time of year, maybe a wee bit higher, so that's quite a low number. But the sales have kept pace. That's a really interesting thing. Buyers are still out there buying, and that is what's eating into our available stock figure. So you've seen that drop this month. Ayr has matched and has been very close to Troon, so it's matched Prestwick in terms of its sales agreed, so it's stayed up there for the time of year. We're just not seeing quite as much stock coming through. Now moving on to Prestwick, the interesting thing about Prestwick is the available stock sitting a wee bit higher, which is roughly what we were seeing last month. This time last year, 105 units sitting on the market, and it was something like 93 the month before, so 13 months ago. So to come down to 61 a year on is showing that things are quite healthy in terms of the sales market in Prestwick, with demand being still quite high. So done okay in terms of new instructions. There was a healthy amount came to the market, which kept this figure that wee bit higher, but also we're doing quite well with the number of sales. Troon is probably the most steady market. So what we're seeing last month and what we're seeing at this time last year is much of a muchness right across the board. The only difference being that the days on the market has crept up a wee bit across all areas, even in Ayr, which I find quite strange, because you would see this level, it would see demand going higher, buyers making offers quicker. So it depends again on who you are as either a buyer, a seller, an investor, or like a buyer and a seller, if you need to sell something before you buy something, and what area you're in as to what you would see as the clear winner. For me, Ayr, in terms of sales agreed and just having a constrained market, it's kind of moving more towards a seller's market. Troon is nice and steady. There's stuff coming on, there's stuff selling. Prestwick is more constrained than it was last year, but out of the three comparisons, it probably looks the easiest one to go for if you're a buyer. So as I said, Ayr is probably the most interesting of the three markets this month. We've got 46 properties available, which is low compared to this time last month, this time last year. 14 new instructions, which again is very low for the average numbers in Ayr, especially at this time of year. And 26 sales agreed, so keeping pace with the other two postcode areas of Prestwick and Troon, but still seeing a lot of constrained levels in terms of the number of properties coming to the market. So Ayr has had more sales agreed and the new homes coming to the market. That means last month's buyer activity has eaten into stock levels. For sellers, that's encouraging. So if you're thinking about selling, now is a very, very good time to come to the market. It shows that buyers are still active and good homes are still moving. For buyers, it means that choice may start to feel a bit tighter if more homes don't actually start coming to the market. So Ayr isn't just ticking along, it's showing real momentum. The Prestwick market is telling a slightly different story. We've got 61 properties available right now, 35 new instructions, the most out of the three areas, and 25 sales agreed, matching that of Ayr. So Prestwick has brought the most new stock to the market this month of the three areas. That gives buyers more choice, but it also means sellers are facing a wee bit more competition. But as I said previously, compared to last year, things are still a wee bit more constrained. With days on the market sitting around 80 days, pricing and presentation still really matter. Prestwick still has a strong lifestyle pull. The beach, the cafes, train links, and of course the schools. But buyers are comparing very carefully. So if you're selling in Prestwick, your launch needs to be sharp from day one because you've got stiff competition on either side of you. The Troon market is a standout performer for sales agreed. We've got 57 properties available, 30 new instructions coming to the market, and 32 sales agreed. So again, another one where we've got more sales agreed than actual properties replacing them. So that's eating into the stock levels again, not as much as Ayr though. That means that Troon agreed more sales than the number of new homes coming to the market. For high value coastal market, that's a strong sign. Troon buyers are still active, but they're very selective. They expect quality, location and value all to line up. When they do, the market responds well. So Troon continues to show strong demand, especially for well-presented homes in desirable locations. So what's the wider story? Ayr is showing momentum, Prestwick is offering more choice, Troon is converting demand into sales. 3 towns, 3 different races. And that's why local data really matters. You can't just say the Ayrshire market is up or the Ayrshire market is down. It depends where you are, what type of property you own, and how it's positioned. The best homes are still performing well, but buyers are very much more selective. And the gap between a strong launch and a weak launch is getting much bigger. If you're thinking about selling, my advice is simple. Don't chase yesterday's market, but don't panic either. Good homes are still selling very well. Your first 2 weeks on the market matter massively. That's when your property is freshest, buyers are paying most attention, and you want maximum momentum. So pricing, photography, presentation, and marketing strategy all need to be right from day one. If you're thinking about selling, letting, buying, or investing across Ayr, Prestwick or Troon, I'd be happy to have a chat. You can read the full market update on our website. I'm Brian from Be Listed. Thank you very much for watching.